Hey guys, how are you? And welcome back. Today, this video is going to be on assembling your B-Stick Minis. If you ordered any, you'll get this little instruction pamphlet, but I don't know about you, but reading these is a little crazy. If I can watch somebody do it, it's a lot easier. I'll do that. But here's what you've got. This comes with your package. You're going to have the same components you have on your big sticks. You've got your main rod or your main stick portion. This one is 20 inches long. Hopefully the lighting's okay. I'm trying a new ring light to try and stop me from having to go from side to side. You still have your same steps. You're going to have 2 of those. And then you're going to have 2 standoffs, but these are different now. Same design, but I'm going to show you. The old ones didn't have a bevel on the back, so I think you should be able to see that bevel. But they've basically beveled that edge right there. So you have to make sure you put these on your stick correctly, because the bevel is to help it slide down the tree a little bit. Because when you had the sharp side like this, if you didn't properly set your sticks, I have a video on that, I believe, where once you have the stick on the tree, you need to pull the bottom away and pull down to set it. But if you didn't do that, if you had that stick straight on and you stepped onto that step without setting it with these sharp edges, those grabbed in and you had the potential of bending your bracket. But with that little bevel, I'm still going to set them the same way. Pull out the bottom, but this will make it slide a little bit easier with that bevel that's on there now. But you got to make sure that bevel is on the stick correctly. So I'm going to show you how to assemble these. Just try and make it quick and simple for you. You're going to have that, and then you're going to have one bag in there. And inside this bag is your strap that comes with it. Ugly colored strap though, but and then you've got your bolts and your beast button, and then your caps. And I'll lay that all out on the table for you so you'll be able to see it. But I will show you how I'm going to assemble them. And then what you're going to need is a 7/16 wrenches, open end if you want there. And then you're going to need a 7/16 inch socket. Now the sockets, when I did my first original video, somebody said they had a 7/16 socket and it didn't work. They couldn't get it in the hole. You notice my socket is tapered right here. And that taper allows that to go into the stick and be able to tighten the bolt and hold the bolt. So if you're going to get a 7/16 to do this, a socket, you're going to need that little taper there on the end, all right? All right, so I'm going to adjust the camera and we're going to get this set up and I'll show you how I assemble these B-Stick Minis. Hey guys, so here's everything laid out for you to do your stick. So you've got your 2 standoffs. You've got your main bar. You've got your 2 steps. You've got your caps on the end. You've got your beast button. Then you should have 5 bolts in your package and 5 locking nuts. These are got the little plastic bushing in there, if you can see that. If you've never used one of these, you'll be able to tell putting it on. It's going to go on easy one way, and then it's going to grab onto the threads, and that's when you know it's hit this portion here. If you try to put it on the wrong way like this, you're not going to get it to thread. It's going to be really tough to get it to go on straight. So if you've never used a locking nut before, just basically put it through like that, and then it'll start to grab onto those threads right there, and it will hold it nice and tight. All right. So I just like to spread everything out just so you can see everything. All right, so what we're going to do is, remember what I talked about the steps itself. You got to make sure you put these on correctly. So let's do this. Here's what I figured was the best way to do it. So I'm just going to move these bolts down a little bit. Keep everything in the center of the frame. So you can see on this button right here, this is where your beast button is going. And then you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes above that, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 holes below it. So this is the top of your stick, because the beast button is going to be closer to the top. All right. So what I like to do to make this really simple is when you turn it over, you're going to see that this bolt right here and the one down here on this end, those are going to be the long bolts right here because they're going all the way through the stick. So what I like to do is take this long bolt. This is going to go into the bottom of this one. So turn it over, put it on there, and then put it through the hole just like that. And you will see how when on the other side it engages with the bracket, it stays on there nice and tight. So you're in the bottom hole, and then you'll be able to see the second hole right through there. So I like to put that one on just like that. Take the other one, and this one's going to be on the bottom of it. So put it in the bottom hole, and you'll see here. And we're going to put that onto the stick also, just like so. And now when you've got it sitting down, it just sits here flat on the steps, which is pretty easy. And you can now take your nuts right here and take your standoffs. And remember, this is the top of the stick. All right, this side over here. So these standoffs need to be, these bevels, I should say. You can see that bevel right there. Needs to be facing down at towards the bottom of the stick. So all I'm going to do is drop that over this bolt right there. I'm going to take the other one right here. It's facing, the bevel is facing the bottom of the stick this way. Going to put that right on top of that bolt. And then you can drop your nut right on there, your locking nut. And it will turn right now because it's in the upper portion of the bracket. And we'll put the other one on. And now you've got those on there, you're not going to have to worry about them popping off. So what I do now is I just turn it over, and you can pull that nut up into the bracket, all right? You see that nut? Bring it up into the bracket portion right there, because that will not allow it to turn. You bring it up and just hold it in the up position, and then you can take your ratchet, make sure it's going the right way, and tighten it righty-tighty. And I like to just get it snug. I don't want to go tighten it down yet, all the way down. So that one's on there, and then we're going to go down to the other end. Make sure that bracket's sideways, push up on the bottom bolt, and hold it in the up position, and then just go ahead and ratchet this one now. And I don't tighten it down yet because we're still going to be putting the other bolt through these other holes, all right? Hopefully that makes sense to you. So now you've got these in place, and now you can take your shorter bolts that are only 3/4 inches long. You can flip this guy back over, and you're going to put this up through the bottom. Let me turn it sideways for you. Put that through here. And then it's going to be, sorry, I bumped the camera there, and then that's going to protrude through here. Now you're going to have to get, this one's not too bad because it's on the outs or the top, so you can just slide that nut in the end and then just hold it in place. I've got big fingers, so I have to get it over the top and then just tighten it, hold that nut in place and just tighten it with your finger, and then it'll stop spinning. You'll feel the nut spin on your finger once it engages the threads, the plastic threads in there. Now this one here, we can turn it over. We're going to put the socket in here. All right, and that's going to be over the nut. We're going to put our other 7/16 on the other end. So right here, just to hold that while we tighten this down on the top. And always before you tighten them down, like I said, I think in my first video, just make sure this thing is sitting on the outside edge of the stick. That's what keeps it from going side to side. And you don't want to have it sitting up and you're tightening it down and bending that. So now that one is pretty tight. We're going to tighten it up now because we don't have to worry. We're not doing anything else with this. So we're going to put that on there and just snug it up. And we're good there. And then we're going to come back and we're going to tighten up this one now because we are done with that top one. Everything's lined up. And you can just turn this. You don't have to put a wrench on the back because it sits right inside that bracket. And just tighten it down. And you can see how that nut just seats itself right in that bracket. So now that is done. This is the top of the stick. You can see how the bevels are facing downward. So that'll allow it to slide a little bit down the tree without grabbing in. And then we'll come down to the other side. This one's a little bit trickier because you can see you can't slide your finger in this end because you've got the bolts in there coming through. So what we're going to do is I found it, just drop a nut in there if you can. And I've got the nut just dropped in there. You could also try and put it in your socket, then just hold it over the hole with your finger. And then put your nut from the bottom up. This is your shorter one again, your 3/4 inch one. And it's grabbed now. You can see it through there. And all we'll do is we'll do the same thing. Put the socket on this side. Put the wrench on the other side. And start to tighten. And I already know the bracket, like I was talking about, is over the edge of the main beam because I tightened down that other back one. So that's nice and tight now. And then we're going to come back over on this side. You can use your ratchet if you got your open end in your hand already. Just tighten this guy down. These are grade A bolts, so you're not going to probably break it off unless you really torque. And then now your sticks. You've got the bevel facing down, bevel facing down. Now we're going to put on your beast button, which is relatively easy also. You're just going to have the same issue where you've got to drop a nut in there. Just drop a nut in a hole. And there it is. Just kind of hold it over the hole if you can. And then put your bolt up. Put your beast button on top of it, so it's like this. And then all we're going to do is push it into the hole, and you'll feel, just let it go into the threads of the nut. It's already engaged the threads. You can see them right in there. And then all we're going to do is put our socket on that side. And then we're going to basically take our wrench, hold this side, and we will tighten with our socket. And same thing, just snug it nice and tight, and you are good to go. Your beast button is on, and basically, guys, your stick is done. Very simple. All you got to do then is these little guys right here. They show you a mallet. All you do is put those into the end here and hit them with a mallet and set them in. I usually don't hit them with the mallet. I usually just put it on the edge of my workbench and push it in. You're just going to push those guys in. Just make sure you're going in pretty straight. That way they'll seat really nicely. And I'll do that right now on here. Can't really show you on camera because I have to use the corner of the workbench. But you can see how that just pushed in there really easy. And that is set to go. Put the other one on the other side. This one I can't actually do on camera because the stick is not sitting up And I just push down, and you can see that is set. So I really didn't need a mallet to put that in place. So guys, now your stick is done and ready to go. That was relatively easy, I would think you would agree. So there it is, all done. Same thing, just remember, make sure you've got it set up correctly. Top of the stick, the bevels on the teeth are going down towards the bottom. Same there, going down to the other side. Bottom of the stick, you can see how the bevel is going down this way, allows it to slide down the tree. And that is it, guys. Pretty simple. Hey guys, so that was relatively easy, wouldn't you agree? So everything's together. We've got the caps pushed in, but now you're ready to go. You can use the strap that they provide to you. These, I can't remember, I think they're probably like 5 feet. If you've watched my other video, I make a rope mod for mine because they are longer. That way I can get around some of the bigger trees that I have. I have a video on making that rope mod also. But really nice, the stick from top to bottom. The post part is 20 inches. And then your step, top of step to top of step is 18 inches. So we're going to do a comparison of these against the tethered ones. See how that works or how they compare to each other. But I will have that video all coming soon. Hopefully this helped you out, save you from having to read all of these instructions. Really easy. I think the way I set it up works out very quick. Just remember, the key thing on these is make sure your bevel is going down towards the bottom of the stick. And you can see that right there. That way it allows it to slide down the tree when you are setting it. All right, guys, have an awesome day, and thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.